Hello, Henry. Thank you so much for your time today. This is Natasha from AlphaWorks.
Good evening, Miss Harrison. Thank you for your time as well. Was there something I could help you with? Perhaps you had a question about something we discussed earlier? Hold on. But this is my personal number. Did I happen to share it with you during our meeting?
Oh, no. We only exchanged our business numbers, so you didn't share this with me before.
Then why do you even have it, if I may ask?
Are you asking that for real? Or are you just joking? I can't believe that you really haven't noticed yet.
What do you mean? Am I missing something here? Have we met somewhere before?
Don't be silly. This is Natasha Adams from high school. Sun Valley High. Don't you remember?
What? Natasha Adams?
Yep, yes. You really didn't make the connection until now? It's no surprise though. You haven't changed much since your dorky high school days, huh? I'll never forget those thick glasses that you used to wear. And the way you were always such a loner. It looks like you finally decided to get contacts. But you're still as blind as a bat. I can't believe that you didn't even notice that it was me. I guess it's only your appearance that's made an improvement since we last saw each other. You definitely look less like the loser that you were back then.
Well, it's not that I didn't notice, and it did seem like I knew you from somewhere before. But you look a lot different than when we were in high school, so I couldn't make the exact connection. The last time I saw you, you had bleached blonde hair and dressed like you belonged in a punk rock band. It seems like you've tamed your appearance quite a bit since then. Back then, I never would have imagined having a business meeting with you like this. And your last name is different from before, too.
Well, obviously. I got married and I took my husband's last name, so that's why it's Harrison now.
Oh, I see. Now I get it.
Well, what about you, Henry?
What?
I'm asking if you're already married or not, you dimwit.
Oh, well, I'm engaged, but my fiancé and I haven't decided on a wedding date or anything yet. We're both really busy with work right now, so we're just waiting for a better time to plan everything.
You're engaged? For real? That's unbelievable. How could anyone actually fall for a loser like you? I wonder if your fiancé is just after something else, or she just felt sorry for you. There's just no way. Because you used to be such an antisocial nerd in high school. I can't believe you even had the social skills to propose to anyone.
Natasha, we're not in high school anymore, so what meaning does it have to bring up the past like that? As a matter of fact, since we're business acquaintances now, I'd prefer if we could keep a professional relationship with one another. I don't know if you hold a grudge against me for something that happened years ago, but it shouldn't interfere with our jobs like this.
What? Who do you think you are, lecturing me about what I should and shouldn't do? It's not just about the past. The difference in our status still hasn't changed even now.
And what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. I'm a top employee at a renowned corporation, right? Whereas you're just a regular employee for one of our subcontract companies. Without the work supplied by us, your company would just go under. So isn't it obvious that we're much more important than your muesli factory? How can you not be aware of your own status?
No, I totally understand that the supplier has superiority over a subcontract, but only in terms of business relationships. I'm just saying that it's wrong to assume that the same kind of rank relationship exists on a personal level. That's all.
Well, look who's trying to talk me down. Don't try to refute my opinion, you lowly subcontract. Anyways, I'll give you a break just this once and pretend I didn't hear anything you just said. You should be grateful for my generosity. But you better be more careful next time. From now on, you better be aware of your status as the subcontract company. And just do as I say. Without argument. Hey, Henry. Maybe you can explain the meaning of this? I was just looking over the quotation that you brought today. Are you sure that this isn't a mistake? The price just seems way too high.
Really? It seems pretty reasonable to me. And it's pretty much in line with what we've always quoted in the past. On the other hand, this isn't the sort of matter that should be discussed on our personal lines, especially after business hours.
Why should that be such a big deal? So anyways, you'll give us a better quote, right? And by better quote, I mean a lower price.
I don't know if that's possible.
What? Why not?
I explained all of this during our meeting the other day. But this is the lowest we can go without it affecting the quality of our work. And it's exactly in line with all of your requests, and we've already cut down on the cost wherever we can. So, like I said, I don't think it'll be possible to lower the cost any more than this.
I see. But don't forget that you're just a subcontracting company. You really have some nerve denying my requests.
I'm perfectly aware of our position as the subcontracting company, but that shouldn't mean that we have no right to refuse such an impossible demand. It's always been my policy to be perfectly clear about what we can and can't handle. That's the kind of business relationship we had with your company before you took over as our account manager. Our opinion has always been taken into account regarding every decision, and that's how we've managed to establish a trusted relationship between our companies over the years. The way you think that a subcontracting company should obey every demand that's thrown at them isn't the way we want to operate. It doesn't make sense that you should have so much authority.
How dare you? Do you have any idea who you're talking to? You're just a lowly subcontracting company. Or rather, you're just the same antisocial loser that you were back in high school, to be honest. Either way, you're in no position to tell me what you think. I have no intention of giving any mind to your lowly opinion anyways.
Whatever hierarchy you think there was back in high school doesn't exactly apply the same way in a business relationship. You may have precedence in terms of this job since you subcontract the work to us, but I don't think you should consider that as you having a higher rank or anything.
What?
Anyways, to get back to the original topic, I'm not in the position to make any changes to the quotation at my own discretion, to begin with. So there's no point in discussing this matter any further here. And especially because this is my personal number, and it's after business hours. It's more an inconvenience than anything.
You're really starting to irritate me. This isn't even about you being inconvenienced. Don't be such a fool. Don't forget that if it weren't for my contract, you wouldn't even have this job. So don't think that you can get away with talking to me like that.
Like I said, the decision isn't solely up to me. So, what do you want me to do?
Don't try to talk me down like that. I know for a fact that this contract with our company makes up for at least 70% of your total business. If you're not willing to give us a lower quote, I guarantee that you won't be happy with the alternative. For example, I might decide to cut your contract and outsource the job to a different subcontract company.
I wish I could tell you otherwise, but unfortunately, I can't make the decision regarding the price on my own. So if it's agreeable to you, I'd like to put this matter on hold for the time being. We can discuss this further during our next meeting.
Oh, great. So you finally realize that it works out better for you to listen to my request.
That's not what I'm saying exactly. But it is part of my job to evaluate any feedback we get about our work, and that includes any disagreements about the price. So for all intents and purposes, I'll bring this up with the managers, but I don't want you to get your hopes up or anything.
Say what you want. But let's say that you do lose the contract with our company. Do you have any idea what will happen to you? You'll lose almost 3/4 of your total business, and you'll most likely end up going bankrupt. So I hope that you come back with a good answer for me. Hey, Henry! You better have an explanation for this. How come you didn't contact me directly and just went over my head with this?
Huh? What are you talking about?
You know perfectly well that I'm the one who handles all matters with your company. I'm your account manager. Why didn't you discuss any of this with me directly? He just went straight to my boss that you weren't able to lower the price on the quote. How could you just ignore me like that? We were just discussing this matter between the two of us last night. I'm completely disappointed in you. You're really risking this contract because of your stupidity.
I'm glad you got the message regarding our decision about the quote. But I'm afraid your boss forgot to mention one minor detail. I'm no longer the contact person for this job.
What? Wait, let me guess. I bet your performance was so bad that your managers made you step down from the job, right? No wonder. I'm not even surprised. It serves you right for not listening to me in the first place.
But wait, I am a bit confused. Maybe you can explain this as well, because I heard that you were no longer in charge of our contract either.
What?
Remember how you were completely unsatisfied with the quote that I presented you the other day? Well, I decided to bring your issue up with my senior managers, since they were the ones who decided on that price in the first place. And let me tell you that they were quite surprised with your claim that the price was too high. They said that in all the years that we've been subcontracted by your company, there's never been such an issue with our proposed quote. And they were quite certain that the former person in charge would never have come forth with such an outrageous demand. So my manager decided that he should speak directly with your manager to settle this matter.
No, that can't be.
Let me just get straight to the point then. Basically, it became clear that your irrational price negotiation wasn't on behalf of your company, but that you were, in fact, acting on your own authority without consulting anyone about it.
No. Wait. That's not all true.
And in the process of discussing this matter, I was also told of a very troubling situation about you. Is it true that this was the absolute last opportunity your boss was willing to give you?
What do you mean?
Well, this is what I was told. That you always place at the bottom in your department for sales performance. You leave the office frequently during working hours, but nobody knows where you are, or what you're doing because you never answer your phone. And once in a blue moon, when you actually do close on a contract, it turns out that you just took the credit for a different colleague's work. I hope you don't think that anyone is actually fooled by your fake enthusiasm towards your job. Honestly, you should have been let go, or at least demoted by now. But your company decided to give you one last chance, as a courtesy to you. And that's how you came to be in charge of our account, because our CEO has been acquainted with your CEO for many years.
Whatever. Why does that have anything to do with this? It doesn't change the fact that I'm the one who handles the contract with your company.
Didn't you hear what I said earlier? I was told that you're no longer in charge of our contract.
I told you I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well then, why would you make such an unreasonable demand? At your own discretion, knowing that you were risking your job at the same time. And not only that, you also betrayed the trust of your company. That's just reckless and stupid.
Well, I can explain. The cheaper the order is that we receive from you, it'll be a profit for our company, right? In other words, my managers would have looked at that as my achievement and would have evaluated my performance accordingly.
But still, your demand to cut our quote by half is just ridiculous. That's just going too far.
Oh, be quiet. You're nothing more than our subcontract company. It's your duty to obey my orders.
You still don't get it, do you? The reason why your manager decided to remove you from being in charge of our contract is because you always think you're so much better than everyone else.
What do you mean?
Well, it's impossible to have a long-standing business relationship without there being a strong sense of trust in the first place. Not only do you have to think about making a profit, but it's also important to consider the kind of burden you're placing on the other party. A true partnership is established when both parties are willing to compromise when necessary and work together to build the foundation to manufacture the best product possible.
Who do you think you are, lecturing me like that? And besides, you're in no different of a position from me. Isn't that right? You said so yourself that you're no longer handling this job.
I know what I said. But unlike you, I wasn't ordered to leave my position. My assignment here is going to end soon, so my manager just decided that it was a good time to hand over the job to a different employee. I'll be returning to AlphaWorks in a few weeks.
What? What do you mean you're returning to AlphaWorks? Like, the same AlphaWorks that I work for? But why would you say that you're returning here?
Oh, so I guess you never realized it.
What is it? Just tell me already!
Well, my cousin is in line to be the next president of AlphaWorks.
Your cousin? You're kidding, right? But how can you be related? You have different last names.
That's because he's my cousin on my mother's side. His mother and my mother are sisters. Anyways, I was originally working for a subsidiary company of AlphaWorks before coming here. But my cousin saw how dedicated and hardworking I was, so he planned to take me in as his right-hand man when he eventually got named the president. And before that time came, we decided that it would be best if I had the opportunity to get some work experience elsewhere. So that's why I was given this job assignment, so I can train under someone else other than my cousin.
But how could this be true? So, in other words, you already have a job lined up here? As one of the top executives in the near future?
That's exactly right. It's too bad you only became aware of this just now, though. I plan to be back at AlphaWorks starting next month, and should be assigned to the CEO's secretarial staff.
That's great news! Anyways, I was thinking, maybe we can go on a date sometime. What do you think? Of course, it won't be just any old date that's out of courtesy. I promise that I'll do everything and anything that you want. And in return, maybe you can promise me an advantageous position at work. You can arrange that when you start working as the CEO's personal assistant, right? Isn't this such a great idea? It works out to benefit the both of us. You get the opportunity to break out of your antisocial shell and go on a date with me, while I'll have a guaranteed position at work. You see? It's a win-win situation.
You're really unpredictable, aren't you? Where do you even get these kinds of ideas? You don't honestly think that I would agree to go through with such a ridiculous offer, do you? There's just too much at risk.
What do you mean?
Well, first of all, didn't you say that you were married?
Well, yes.
And I told you that I'm already engaged and that my fiancé and I are planning to get married soon, right?
I know that. But, you know, as long as no one finds out about us, it won't be a problem.
Well, what I said before is really just an excuse as to why I'll never accept your offer. But let me be frank with you, because we'll never be involved in each other's businesses from now on. Both personally and professionally. And to be completely honest, I really dislike you, Natasha Harrison.
How dare you?
Wait, don't tell me you're actually surprised by this. The way you look down on me and my company for being the subcontract, and all the rude comments and insults about me being an antisocial loser. Did you really think that I was taking all of that in stride? No one should be bullied or harassed like that, especially in a professional environment. The real reason why I refuse to accept your offer to go on a date is because I absolutely hate you. Wait, don't tell me that you actually thought that I would be happy about your offer. Don't be so full of yourself.
Well, that's not exactly what I'm saying.
Most people would find it to be an insult to be used like that. I mean, that's if you have any common sense, that is.
Let me explain.
Oh, that reminds me. Your boss has been following our conversation this entire time, just to let you know. He's the sales manager for your company, right?
What? How is that even possible?
It's a bit too late now, but you probably should have given more thought to your current situation before acting like a fool. You were barely hanging on by the width of a hair, but you still thought that you would actually get away with doing something so stupid. You knew this was your final chance at redeeming yourself, but in the end, you just let your ego get in the way. And what a shame that is.
No, you can't be serious.
Anyways, there's nothing else left for me to say to you.
Wait, please.
By the time I return there next month, I'm quite certain that you won't be around anymore. Good luck with your job hunting, at least. Well, that's pretty much everything that went down. As expected, Miss Harrison was fired just a few days later. And from what I've heard, it became clear that her dishonesty was not just towards me personally. Supposedly, she's used her tears as a weapon to get her clients to sign a contract on more than one occasion. She was just a dishonest person through and through, and only considered things that were to her own benefit. And because her foolish behavior caused a disruption to the job, she was ordered to compensate for those losses. In addition, she had to pay for damages for initiating a relationship with a married man. So financially speaking, she's in quite a bit of trouble. Of course, her husband found out about everything she had been doing and filed for divorce immediately. He took full custody of their child, then moved away shortly after. Miss Harrison, or rather Miss Adams, now that she went back to her maiden name, moved back in with her parents for the time being. But all the whispering and rumors about herself must have been too much to handle, since she just disappeared from the house one day and never returned. However, she still continues to make regular payments for the compensation that she owes. So it must mean that she's alive somewhere and hopefully trying to make something better of herself.